the accountant to the film opens as Ray King, J.K. Simmons, is at a bar during bingo night. A young woman, Anais, Daniela Pineda, enters and approaches Ray's table, while some guys working for a man named Burke, Robert Morgan, are keeping an eye on them. Ray presents Anais with a photo of a family from El Salvador, the Sanchez's, whom she believes Ray is asking her to kill. He says he wants her to help find them, as he was hired by the father of the wife, Edith. Ray is alerted to the presence of the other men and tries to flee the bar. He fights and kills 2 men in the bar before the patrons start to flee in a panic. Ray runs into the street where he is gunned down. Treasury agent Mary Beth Medina, Cynthia Adai Robinson, learns of Ray's death and goes to the morgue to identify his body. On his arm, she finds "Find the Accountant" written. Christian Wolf, Ben Affleck, is communicating with his handler, Justine Allison Robertson, just before he is set to go to a round of speed dating. The women all specifically line up for him until they actually meet him, and they find that Chris has made up his own dating algorithm to determine his match. He ends up putting them all off with his behavior. Burke and his top goon, Cobb, Grant Harvey, are talking at their worksite over Ray and Anais. They know who she is, as she showed up during a meeting Burke had with 3 other guys where she killed the men but left Burke alive. Burke orders Cobb to go to Fort Worth to take care of anybody else looking into their dirty work. Mary Beth begins her investigation on whatever Ray was looking into. After finding documents related to Chris, she contacts a neuroscience academy connected to him. Justine overhears on the other end from Mary Beth that Ray has been murdered. Mary Beth is later found by Chris in a parking lot. They look into Ray's pictures and research, finding several pictures of dead Chilean ex-Special Forces guys, as well as a tax return from Edith Sanchez. They find that Edith's father was a man named Emiliano Gonzalez, Alberto Moncaro, who is shot to death in Fort Worth. Chris and Mary Beth go to a pizza factory to speak to the manager, Ike Michael Turek, since Edith allegedly worked there. When Ike doesn't give them the information they need, Chris gets out his own research and suggests that Ike is involved with money laundering. Ike gets in Chris's face, leading to Chris twisting his finger and then fighting off a few employees coming to Ike's aid. Eventually, Chris gets Ike to admit that he gets money from a man named Tomas Lombardo Boyar, who is involved in trafficking women. Chris's brother Braxton, John Bernthal, is in the process of trying to adopt a corgi puppy, but the lady at the adoption agency tells him he cannot pick the dog up earlier than promised. He later goes on a job to kill some guys when he gets a call from Chris asking for his help. Brax is reluctant since his relationship with his brother has been strained, but he eventually relents and goes to meet him. Brax meets Chris and Mary Beth at a motel where the brothers wait in a room for 3 women. They give them money to give up information on Tomas, but the women are scared for their lives. 2 of them leave, but one stays behind and asks for extra payment to get her away from Tomas. The men wait until Tomas arrives. Brax punches Tomas off the balcony and onto a car, knocking him out before they stuff him into Mary Beth's trunk. She is annoyed until Chris gets Justine to manipulate traffic so nobody will stop her car. Meanwhile, Mary Beth learns of Emiliano's death, as well as the death of Edith's husband, Gino, and the disappearance of their son, Alberto. The next day, Mary Beth joins Chris and Brax as Chris contacts Justine. She rounds up her network of hackers to infiltrate security footage throughout Los Angeles to find Anais. They find surveillance footage of her on the night of Ray's murder and discover a woman named Pamela, Erica Johnson, took a selfie that captured Anais. The hackers find Pamela's laptop and go through her files to find the selfie, all while Mary Beth objects to the invasion of privacy and fears that they will be discovered. The hackers manage to find the selfie before Pamela notices anything. They discover that Anais has been in several parts of the globe and has carried out murders against members of criminal organizations. Mary Beth learns that Chris and Brax were responsible for some of the deaths, which makes her decide to break away from their help and to continue her investigation by the book. Mary Beth and an attorney later meets with Tomas and his lawyer. It is revealed Ike was murdered and had a rat shoved into his throat. Before Tomas can agree to give his testimony against his employers, Cobb shoots him and his lawyer with a sniper rifle. Chris learns from Justine about a car accident from years ago involving a woman. He and Brax spend more time together and later go to a bar where Chris gets the attention of a pretty waitress, Angie, Dominique Domingo. Chris joins Angie and others in doing a line dance, but Angie's ex-boyfriend comes to antagonize Chris. In response, Brax helps Chris beat the shit out of the boyfriend and his buddies before they flee. Brax is also proud to see that Chris got Angie's number. Mary Beth learns of the car accident victim, a woman who ended up losing her memory and underwent facial reconstruction surgery. The woman also developed acquired savant syndrome and became skilled at things like chess and later killing. The woman was Edith Sanchez, who eventually became Anais. She became violent and attacked a guard before escaping her facility. Chris finds out that Brax's employer is ordering him to take out Mary Beth. Chris races to get to her first, but Anais makes it there first. She and Mary Beth get into a fight, ending with Anais stabbing Mary Beth. Before leaving, Anais sees the picture of herself as Edith with Gino and Alberto. This triggers her memories of being trafficked by Burke and his men and witnessing him kill Gino. Chris arrives to find Mary Beth and gets her help. Burke orders Cobb and his other goons to round up the kidnapped children at their compound in Juarez and to execute all of them. With help from Justine, Chris and Brax head to Juarez to rescue them. The villains round up the children on the bus, but the brothers arrive and begin to open fire on the mercs. Cobb drives the bus away after several of his men are killed. Chris gets Brax into a van and follows the bus as they make it to a pit that the kids are forced into. The brothers shoot the mercs, but Cobb is on the bus with Alberto, Yael Ocasio. Chris makes it onto the bus while Brax is in the back. Cobb tries to sell out Burke just before Chris and Brax both put bullets into him. They then get the kids out of the pit and drive the bus to take them home. Brax makes Chris stop the bus to pick up a stray cat. Chris earlier told him he's more of a cat person. Justine calls Anais and gives her a location. There she finds Burke coming out of the shower. He realizes she is there for him, and she grabs a large knife and follows him. Mary Beth returns to work after recovering. She contacts a number that Justine is listening in on to thank her for helping save the kids, and that Ray would be proud. The hackers are seen putting together a room in their hideout for Alberto, who is being taken to them by Chris and Brax. Yo, legends of the internet. Did this video hit harder than a double rainbow? Smash that like button if your mind is officially blown, or if you're just here for the chaos.